Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Drop the Dot. Today, I thought that we could talk about something that's come up recently with one of my friends who has recently started playing a lot of tabletop RPGs. He's falling ever deeper into the trappings of the RPG world, and he's loving it, and I'm loving that he's loving it. But he actually feels as though he's become a lackey to another player/player character. There's something that you all need to know, and I found that this holds true mostly in life, but especially in your RPGs and your tabletop games. You do not have to unquestioningly follow the orders of other people. Yes, there's some give and take when your dungeon master says something, or when your boss or your parents say something. You should listen unless it compromises everything about your character or your PC. Now the issue here, to give his exact example, is he's playing a dragonborn fighter who is lawful good, a very proud ex-military man who is now a sellsword who's supposed to be escorting these people. They fight some goblins, and the leader of the group turns to him and says, "Eat that goblin." And he rolls an intimidate check, and he punches the goblin in the face to try and get more information. And then the leader looks at him again and says, "Eat that goblin. Bite his head off." The leader of the group is a veteran player, and often veteran players make the best leaders, but he shouldn't do it. And I think that he's right for not doing it. The concern is you have agency as a player character. What you think your character would do is what your character does. You do not have to follow what other people tell you to do. Now, granted, you need to always try to move the story forward and always keep an open mind. But when someone tells you to become a cannibal, if your character would not become a cannibal, then don't. There's nothing anywhere in a Dungeon Master's Guide or otherwise that tells you you have to follow the orders of the people who've been playing the game longer than you. They are not always right. Veteran players make some of the best players in the game because they've had a chance to grow accustomed to the rules, how things work, how to get themselves in the mindset of their character, and to better portray that character to everyone at the table. But they also fall into some trappings I've found, where they feel that new players are beneath them in some capacity. And that is absolutely not true. That's borderline bullying. And if bullying is going on at your table, you need to talk to your dungeon master, you need to talk to the group as a whole, or you need to just leave. And I know that that's hard to do. I live in Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Yes, Mississippi. There are not many players around here. There really aren't. And the few that are, they can be a mixed bag, to say the most. But you always have other options. For instance, you can join online gaming groups like the Tabletop RPG one-shot group on Facebook. I'll have an annotation somewhere, and I'll definitely have a link in the description. But I've been on there for several months. A lot of the guys are really nice. A lot of the guys are assholes. Give and take. But it's a fantastic place to find other games. So even if you can't be in the game that you want to be in, and sit at the table and roll dice and eat pizza with your friends, it's not the end of the world. But the one thing that you should never ever do to play a game is to feel put out or pressured. There should be no peer pressure in the game that you're in. The games are supposed to be fun, a little spontaneous, a little goofy, a chance for some social interaction, and to be creative. Not to feel pressured to change your character to fit the group dynamic, or to just blindly follow someone who's been playing the game since AD&D. You always have the option to say no. And if someone tries to force you, you should respectfully tell them that that's not what your character would do, and say, I don't know what you're really getting at trying to make me do that, but my character would never eat the head off of a goblin, and if that's the kind of game we're running, I may need to roll a new character, or I may need to find another group, or we're going to have a real talk about the expectations that are in this game. You entered into a social contract with everyone involved that says that there will be none of this animosity that sometimes happens in the gaming world. And that's one of the wonderful things about tabletop RPGs, is that social contract. When you sign into an MMO or a game like Call of Duty with thousands upon thousands of people you'll never know in real life, things can get pretty dark. Pretty dark. But that's not true with RPGs. Alright, there is a lot of social interaction, back and forth, give and take. It's not about the numbers. That's what this whole channel has been about, and that's what it will continue to be about. It's not about the dice that you roll. It's not about your to hit, your HP. It's about none of that. It's about you having fun, interacting with other people, using your imagination, and having this storytelling back and forth with everyone. Storytelling is the longest running thing in human history as far as entertainment goes, and that probably will never change unless we become pod people and start, I don't even know, okay? But don't feel peer pressured. If you do, talk to someone, leave the group, or maybe just have a good old-fashioned conversation. Everyone has off days. Maybe this lead character was having an off day. Maybe the veteran player has some issues at home. Let things slide as much as possible, but if you feel pressured, you always have options. You are not stuck in a game. You should not do it if you're not having fun. I hope that this has been kind of informative. Again, check out the RPG One-Shot group if you're ever having issues finding a game. A lot of those guys are fantastic. A lot of the best YouTubers that I know for the hobby are on there, and they're constantly running games, involved in games. And they have a very good conversation with everyone, even plebs like me. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful. And if someone in your group is kind of doing this and you want to be very passive-aggressive about it, which I know a lot of you love, you can always just send them this video. Point them in my direction. I'll set them straight. I'll set them straight. I hope that this has helped some of you, and until next time, this has been Drop the Die.